Okay, we're going to talk about this. Rationalizing denominators. We're going to start with single term. So example 1, we have 2 over the square root of 3. So what you would do is you'd multiply top and bottom by the denominator's square root. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 3 squared, which basically leaves you just the 3. A square root times the square root just gives you the number in the radical. And this is going to be 2 times the square root of 3. Okay? Example 2, 4 over 3 square root of 5. Well, 4 over 3 square root of 5, you're going to multiply top and bottom by just the denominator's square root. Okay? You'll have 4 times the square root of 5 up here. Down here, you're going to have 3. 3 times 1 is 3. The one that you don't see, 3 times 1 is 3. And the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is just 5. Leaving me 4 square root of 5 over 15. Okay? On the next page, there's examples 3, 4, and 5. We're going to talk about example 6, which is not on there. Example 6, not on paper. Let's say we have the square root of 13 thirtieths. This can be split up in the product of 2 square roots. Or sorry, into not the product of 2 square roots, but a fraction of 2 square roots. Okay? There's also a similar relation regarding products, but we're going to use the fractional relationship. Now, what you do is multiply top and bottom by the denominator's square root. So you're going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 30 and the square root of 30. The denominator's square root. The square root of 30 times the square root of 30 is just 30. You're going to multiply these two. Under the radical, 13 times 30 is 390. That's it. We're done with that part. Now, two-termers are more complicated. Okay, we'll start with example 1. We have a 3 over 8 plus the square root of 5. What you do in this situation is you multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. So, you're going to have, that was meant to be an 8. You're going to multiply times 8 minus the square root of 5. 8 minus the square root of 5. Okay? You change the sign in the middle, is what you do between these two. So this gives you 24, and 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, and the square root of 5 is unaffected. Now, because these two are conjugates, all you have to do is multiply on the bottom, or multiply the first and multiply the last. 8 times 8 is 64, minus the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 5 squared, which is 5, which leaves me 59. And then stick it on the bottom. Okay? Here's another one. Here's example 1a. Here's example 1A, which isn't on there. Square root of 21 over 2 minus 9 square root of 10. So what you would do is multiply, is do 20, the square root of 21, 2 minus 9 square root of 10. You will multiply top and bottom by 2 plus 9 square root of 10. And 2 plus 9 square root of 10. So that will give you 2 times the square root of 21. And the 9 will be unaffected, but the square root of 21 times the square root of 10 will be the square root of 210. Okay? Down here, because these are conjugates, all you need to do is multiply them. So you will have 4 minus 81, and the square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is 10. Okay, so you will have 4 minus 810, which is negative 806. So, negative 806. You can also move the negative to the middle if you want. Okay, you can move the negative to the middle if you wish. Okay, but that's the gist of what it is you're doing. All right, now I'm going to erase this side, and we're going to do one that's more complicated. I'm going to have to move the computer over because I'm going to need the space. All right. So we're on the same document. I'm going to do example 3. Which is 6 minus the square root of 10 over 3 plus the square root of 2. So you would do 6 minus the square root of 10, 3 plus the square root of 2, times 3 minus the square root of 2, 3 minus the square root of 2. Okay, the conjugate of the denominator. Now for the top, you're going to need to do the FOIL. Okay, so you're going to need to multiply the first terms. That's 18. The outer terms, 6 times negative 1 is minus 6 times the square root of 2. Inner terms, 3 times minus 1 is minus 3 times the square root of 10. And last will be plus the square root of 20. Now, here's the thing about the square root of 20. The square root of 20 is reducible. It's divisible by the perfect square 4. Anytime you can simplify, you do simplify. You usually won't have to, but in this case we do. So the square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 square root of 5. So the top is 18 minus 6 square root of 2 minus 3 square root of 10 plus 2 square root of 5. Down here, all you have to do is multiply, if they're conjugates, all you have to do is multiply the first and last. So 9 minus square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2, so just 7, put all this over 7. Okay? And that takes care of this document.